In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was not a mere utterance. It was a force, a decree, a seed dropped into the soil of the universe. Everything you see, touch, and experience today has, at some point, been spoken into existence. The law of the world responds not to empty desires or passing wishes, but to words charged with belief, uttered in faith, and sealed in conviction. Your mouth is not simply an instrument of speech, it is the doorway of creation. When you speak, you are not merely describing life, you are prescribing it. You are not narrating what is, you are commanding what shall be. Every word you say becomes law unto your world. The unseen substance of spirit listens and obeys the tones of your declarations. Say, I am prosperous. And you activate unseen forces that begin shaping a prosperous path under your very feet. Say, money comes to me in unexpected ways. And the divine law begins rearranging circumstances to make it so. But say, I never have enough. Or, can't afford that. And the same law, neutral and obedient, rushes to fulfill that decree as well. It is not personal. It is simply principle. The law of the world, like the soil of the earth, grows whatever seed is planted. The spoken word, especially when repeated with feeling, becomes a mold for your reality. Every time you affirm lack, fear, or struggle, you strengthen the mold of poverty. But when you affirm wealth, ease, and divine supply, you crack that mold and build a new one. It is through repetition, not resistance, that you rewire your world. There is no virtue in speaking of lack, even if it seems to be all around you. Many believe they are being honest when they speak about their financial limitations. But truth, in the highest sense, is not what appears. It is what is eternally real in the realm of spirit. And in that realm, lack does not exist. So to speak of it is to empower a lie. To repeat it is to grant it life. Watch your words like a sentry guards a sacred gate. Do not allow idle, complaining, or fearful phrases to slip past your lips unchecked. For once spoken, they take on form. They gather energy. They attract like a magnet their own kind. Poverty draws more poverty. Complaint calls in more to complain about. On the other hand, words of gratitude magnetize grace. Words of wealth invite increase. Words of faith move mountains. Many believe they must work harder, longer, or smarter to become wealthy. But few understand that the truest work begins with the word. One aligned sentence, spoken in faith, can do more than 1,000 actions rooted in fear. Declare boldly, infinite substance is drawn to me now. I am an open channel for divine supply. Say it not as a hope, but as a decree. Speak it with the calm assurance that the law hears and the law obeys. You do not have to know how the wealth will come. The moment you speak your word, the invisible begins its work. Ideas are born. Doors swing open. Delays dissolve. But only if you continue to speak life and not sabotage it with doubt. The world is like a mirror. If you frown into it, it frowns back. If you speak failure, it returns failure. But if you speak blessing, it reflects it back multiplied. You must be persistent, not because the law is reluctant, but because your consciousness must be retrained. The world you see is the product of past words, past beliefs. If you want to change it, begin with the words you speak today. Speak as if you already have the wealth. Speak as if you are already guided. Speak as if the universe is conspiring in your favor. Because it is. Resist the temptation to speak of delays, debts, or doubts. If they arise, deny them a voice. Replace them with affirmations like, large sums of money come to me quickly, easily, and consistently. I walk in a wealthy place. My supply is unlimited. My source is divine. These are not just words, they are spiritual commands. When spoken with feeling and repetition, they override fear and rewrite your financial script. Every affirmation you speak carves a new groove in your consciousness. The deeper the groove, the faster the results. This is why casual affirmations don't often work. They lack fire. But when spoken with feeling and expectancy, they move mountains. You don't plant a seed and dig it up daily to check its progress. You plant it, water it, and trust. So it is with your word. Speak it, believe it, and let the divine law fulfill it. Be mindful also of the words you speak about others. Never affirm lack for someone else, even in sympathy. Declare abundance for them as you would yourself. Your words are spells, and when cast with love, They not only bless others, they return to you increased. Let your conversations become sacred spaces of manifestation. Let every word be a step on the golden path to wealth. For the law of the world cannot resist a spoken word wrapped in faith, spoken in alignment, and delivered with joy. The world is governed by law, and the law is governed by word. Before anything is seen, it is spoken. Speech is not just sound, it is creative command. The tongue is the rudder of life, and with it, we steer our reality into safe harbors or stormy seas. Words are not harmless, they are instruments of power, delicate yet decisive. The universe listens, not to noise, but to vibration. Your words carry that vibration and they echo into the unseen, setting divine forces in motion. Many live as prisoners of circumstance because they have not mastered the law of the spoken word. They speak lack and wonder why lack follows them like a shadow. They confess struggle, and so they attract more battles. They casually repeat phrases like, "I can't afford it," "Money doesn't come easily," or "That's too expensive," unaware that these are not simply observations. They are declarations, and every declaration becomes law. Wealth begins not in the bank but in the mouth. Words are seeds, and the soil is your subconscious mind. Whatever you speak consistently, with feeling and belief, roots itself in your inner world and soon sprouts into your outer one. Say, "I always have more than enough," and you've planted a seed of abundance. Say, "I never catch a break," and you've sown the seeds of continued hardship. The soil does not discriminate, it simply grows what you give it. When a person awakens to the truth that their words are creative power, they become careful, deliberate, and sacred with what they speak. Every word becomes an investment in their future. Every phrase, a brushstroke painting their reality. This is not about superstition. It is spiritual law. The law of the world responds to vibration, and nothing vibrates more clearly than speech shaped by conviction. Your words must match the wealth you desire. You cannot speak like a pauper and expect to live like a king. You cannot constantly declare bills, burdens, and bankruptcy, and then be surprised when they arrive. If you want to change what comes to you, change what comes out of you. Train your speech to align with prosperity. Let your words be full of faith, not fear. Say, "Money flows to me freely and endlessly." And even if your outer world has not yet caught up, your inner world will begin its transformation. There is no room for idle talk in the consciousness of prosperity. Every casual complaint, every joke about being broke, every comment rooted in lack is a spell cast in reverse. It is like planting thorns in the garden of your life. You cannot joke about poverty and expect to attract wealth. The subconscious does not understand humor. It takes your words as instruction. So guard your mouth. Let it become a fountain of life, not a gateway to limitation. Affirmation is the sacred act of speaking that which is not yet seen, trusting that it shall come to pass. It is not denial of reality, it is alignment with a higher truth. You may not see the wealth now, but when you declare, "I am divinely provided for," you activate the law of the invisible. You speak as spirit speaks with authority, not apology. It is not enough to think positively. You must speak boldly. Thought is the foundation, but word is the trigger. A loaded bow does nothing until the arrow is released. So release your declarations into the ether with confidence. Speak them morning and night. Let them fall from your lips like rain, soaking into the dry ground of your circumstances. Let your house, your workplace, your car, and your soul hear the music of prosperity through the words you repeat. Consistency is key. The word spoken once is a spark, the word spoken daily is a flame, and the word spoken with unwavering faith becomes a wildfire that consumes every barrier. If you say, "I am rich," once, and then complain for the rest of the day, you have planted and uprooted your seed in the same breath. But if you say, "I prosper in all things," day after day, you are building spiritual momentum. The universe begins to recognize your voice, not as a whisper, but as a command. Do not be discouraged if results delay. The law is never late, it is precise. Your words may need time to break through old mental barriers, outdated beliefs, and inherited fears. But they are working, always. Like seeds in the soil, they are germinating. Speak as if your harvest is guaranteed, because by law it is. Speak well of money, speak well of others' wealth. Never criticize those who are rich. Bless them, for what you bless, you draw nearer. What you resent, you repel. Speak kindly of wealth and of yourself. Say, money loves me. Abundance is my natural state. Divine substance flows to me now. Let these phrases become your daily bread. Speak them while you walk, while you drive, while you breathe. Make your tongue a tool of creation. The law does not require shouting. It does not demand drama. It answers to faith. A quiet, steady word spoken in trust is more powerful than frantic speech born of fear. Say, I am provided for. And say it like one who knows. Speak not to convince the world, but to instruct it. Speak not to chase money, but to claim your inheritance. Let your word rise like incense. Let it carry the fragrance of faith and the fire of intention. Speak not what is seen, but what is true. Speak not as a beggar hoping for scraps, but as an heir reclaiming what is already yours. For your word is law, and the world must obey it. No mind can hold two opposing thoughts at the same time with equal force. Just as light casts out darkness and truth dispels error, so does faith replace fear, and abundance replaces lack. When you choose it, this is the spiritual law of substitution. It is a divine principle that gives you full authority over your inner world, and by extension, over your outer circumstances. You may not always be able to control what thoughts arise, but you are always in command of which ones you entertain. When fear enters the doorway of your mind, do not wrestle with it. Do not try to argue with it or reason with it, for fear thrives on attention. Instead, replace it, substitute it, speak over it, think over it, call in its opposite. When a thought of poverty arises, what if I don't have enough? Do not let it linger in your consciousness. Immediately cast it out by affirming, there is always more than enough. I am supplied according to divine riches. By the law of substitution, the higher thought overrides the lower one. Just as a cup of muddy water becomes clear when fresh water is poured in continuously, so does your consciousness become purified when truth is poured in persistently. You do not overcome limitation by studying it, analyzing it, or obsessing over it. You transcend it by elevating your thought. The law of the world does not ask you to understand lack, it asks you to outgrow it by affirming your spiritual inheritance. If you sit in the room of scarcity, begin speaking abundance until the atmosphere changes. If your bank account shows a number that troubles you, bless it and speak increase. Say, this is only the appearance. The truth is that divine substance is unlimited, and I draw from the source that never runs dry. Your reality is not shaped by the appearance of things, but by the consciousness you hold about those appearances, and consciousness is constructed moment by the thoughts and words you allow to dominate. Each time you replace a fearful idea with a faithful one, you train your inner world to operate by truth rather than reaction. You begin to live by spiritual law rather than material circumstance. Most people feed the very thing they want to eliminate. They see lack, and they fear it. They talk about it, worry about it, and try to control it. But this is like watering weeds and expecting roses. The law of substitution teaches you to turn away from the problem and focus on the spiritual solution. If you feel unworthy of wealth, substitute that lie with the truth. I am worthy because I am one with divine supply. If you feel panic over bills, replace the fear with peace. These bills are evidence of circulation, and I am grateful for the flow of good. Every emotional state has a spiritual opposite. Fear has faith. Lack has abundance. Confusion has clarity. You are never stuck, unless you believe you are. The moment you feel trapped in a mental pattern, speak its opposite, and not just once. Repeat it until the old vibration has no room left. Just as you would turn up the volume of a song to drown out noise, so must you raise the frequency of truth to drown out illusion. Substitution is not denial, it is dominion. It is not pretending a problem doesn't exist, but recognizing that a greater truth exists beyond it. You are not asked to ignore facts, but to transcend them with the law. The world may show you temporary facts, but the law of the world reveals eternal truths, and those truths are only activated when you choose to focus on them. You are a spiritual being with the power to choose your thoughts. That is your great gift. No one can think for you. No one can substitute on your behalf. The mind is a garden, and you are the gardener. Every time you pluck a weed and plant a rose, you participate in the divine act of creation. When you notice the first flicker of doubt, do not wait for it to grow. Immediately substitute it with an affirmation. I am guided. I am prosperous. I am surrounded by divine intelligence and perfect outcomes. Say it, and say it with conviction, even if your feelings lag behind. The feeling will follow the focus. In time, your consciousness becomes so trained in truth that fear finds no home there. Lack cannot live where abundance is continuously affirmed. You begin to walk in the light of knowing, not just hoping. You begin to carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone whose inner world is rooted in spiritual reality, not outer appearances. The law of the world is not a law of hoarding. It is a law of circulation. It is not grasping that brings increase, but giving. The river does not fear running dry because it knows its source. So too must you give freely, joyously, and faithfully, trusting that what you release is never lost. It is multiplied and returned. Giving is not just a virtue, it is a spiritual law. It unlocks the gates of receiving and keeps the current of wealth flowing freely through your life. Many block their good by holding tightly to what they have. They say, I can't afford to give right now. Or, once I have more, I'll be generous. But this is a reversal of the law. Giving is not the result of abundance, it is the cause of it. When you give, especially from a place of faith rather than fear, you affirm that the universe is your source, not your paycheck, not the economy, not another person. And the universe always responds to such a declaration. There is a hidden power in giving that cannot be measured by material logic. You may give a small amount, a kind word, a generous gesture, and yet it sets spiritual law in motion. For when you give, you declare that you have. And according to the law of the world, to the one who has, more shall be given. The consciousness of having draws more of the same. Giving keeps you in that consciousness. It tells the law of, I am a channel, not a container. I trust the flow. The person who clings tightly to every coin, who gives with reluctance or guilt, signals to the universe that they believe in lack. And the law, which is always precise, mirrors that belief back to them. But the one who gives with joy, ease, and gratitude plants seeds that must return in harvest. What you sow in spirit cannot fail to blossom, for the world is governed by unfailing rhythm and perfect return. Giving is not limited to money, though money is a powerful channel. You can give time, energy, attention, praise, encouragement, or resources. Give what you wish to receive. If you desire more love, give love. If you desire more wealth, support others in their wealth with a generous heart. If you wish for favor, give favor. When you give what you think you lack, you signal to the universe that you live by truth, not appearances, and the universe rewards faith in its laws. Let your giving be deliberate, not forced. Give with expectancy, not anxiety. Do not give out of duty, for there is no spiritual reward in fear-based offerings. Give because you know that what flows from you flows back to you. Give because it is the movement of spirit through you. Money, like water, becomes stagnant when hoarded. But when it moves, it nourishes, multiplies, and returns purified. Many believe they must choose between giving and receiving, but this is a misunderstanding. They are not opposites. They are two ends of the same divine circuit. You cannot breathe in without breathing out. You cannot expect to receive continuously without allowing energy to leave you. Giving breaks the dam, it opens the channel. And often, the return comes not from where you gave, but from some unexpected, divine source. It is wise to give where you are spiritually fed. To sow into fertile ground is to ensure a fruitful return. Bless your giving. Do not give and then worry. Do not give and then complain. Give, and then declare, this gift is sent forth in faith. It returns to me multiplied, in perfect form, at the perfect time. Speak over your giving as a farmer speaks over his crop, with love, trust, and confidence in the harvest. Practice generosity in thought as well. Be generous in your speech about others. Be quick to praise, quick to bless, and slow to criticize. The spiritual miser who withholds love, joy, or admiration will find themselves starved of those very things. But the one who gives liberally from the heart will find their own cup overflowing. Do not measure your giving by what you think you can spare. Measure it by the faith you are willing to express. It is easy to give when there is surplus, but when you give from a place that stretches you, you prove to yourself that you trust the source. And trust always brings reward. The world may say, "Be careful, hold back," but the law says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, not by force, but by rhythm, not by chance, but by divine order." Train yourself to give without calculation. Let giving become your nature. Let it be the first response of your soul, not the last consideration of your mind. Give with joy, and you will discover that joy returns. Give with peace, and peace will fill your house. Give with the calm confidence that you are part of a great spiritual current, and the more you give, the more flows to you, through you, and for you,